And I mean, I'm just gonna do, did you get my message?
I did, yeah.
Okay, great.
Just
Perfect.
one, right?
One, and then at the end,
At the
I'll
end.
take us through Havdalah.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see if I think we're ready to begin, right? So let's begin in a comfortable seated posture. Sit with your shins crossed like alien is sitting, like that. And if your knees are higher than your hips, then it's better to sit on some elevation. And that'll allow the low back to relax and open. Good. And place your hands at the roots of your thighs, where the thigh bones insert into the pelvis. Do an outer rotation and push down with your hands, with your palms. Push the thighs down and relax the hips. As you do that, relax the hips, bring your knees closer to the floor. And as you bring the lower part of the body down, ascend the spine. So lift your sternum up, take your shoulders back, drop your shoulder blades down, and place your hands next to your hips on your props or on the floor. Yeah, so place your hands on the floor or the props. And with your hands supported, you can use the floor or your props to help you go deeper in this action of bringing the lower part of the body down towards the floor and ascend the upper part of the body up. Gaze directly in line with your eyes, chin slightly down. Flex both your feet slightly, and that'll help you to bring the knees down more. Then hold your body with your actions. Dropping into and connecting with your actions and the physical space. And keep everything as it is, spine extending, lower part of your body descending. Interlock your fingers in front. Straighten your arms. And take your hands above your head. Lengthen. Try to take your elbows behind your ears. And push up with the lower index finger to lift the thumb side of your wrist. Spin your triceps in to widen your collarbones. And use the action of your arms to lengthen your spine. And the action of your feet, flexing your feet to open the hip joint, bring the knees down. Stay there, try to straighten the elbows. And exhale, release please. Okay, release the posture and make your way to standing in mountain pose, Tadasana. If you have some space next to the wall or against the wall, if you have a wall that you can stand with your back on, then please do that. Stand with the wall behind you and touch with your feet together, inner necks of your big toes touching. Heels can be slightly apart, but take the heels back so the heels touch the wall. You're going to use the prop to help you go a little deeper in the action. bend your knees slightly, lift all your toes up, and pushing down on your big toe mounds in the center of your heels, straighten your legs, straighten the knees, keep the toes lifted, and then lift your sternum up, take your hands out to the side, slightly to the side, not all the way up, just slightly next to your hips, palms facing forward. And doing an outer rotation, drop your shoulder blades down the wall. And now also tuck your, before that, release your big toes and little toes to the floor. Lift the other 3 toes up. Activating your thighs, spin your inner groins back towards the wall and ground your calf muscles on the wall. Now, press your elbows on the wall and try to also press the wrists on the wall. Palms facing forward, Debbie. Palms facing forward, yeah. And pushing into the wall, actually you can even make a fist there. Make a fist with your hands. And pushing your forearms into the wall, take your navel into your spine, taking the floating ribs, the lowest part of the rib cage in front, take it in and back. Turn the palms forward, Laurie, yes, like that, and then make a fist there. Yes, like that, yes. Now hold your body with your actions. Debbie, relax your shoulders a little more and activate the core. Take the navel in. And relax your hands, relax the actions. Stay there though. And allow your hands to still touch the wall as you drag them on the wall and take them up and above your head. Above your head, yes. And keep your hands shoulder width apart. And start from the floor again. Big toe, little toe on the floor. Lift the other 3 toes up. Activate your thighs. Lift your sternum up. Drop your shoulder blades. Drop your tailbone. And now straighten your elbows. Straighten the elbows. Palms facing forward again. No, actually you can put the sides of the thumbs on the wall. So the palms will face each other. Palms will face each other, but shoulder width apart. The sides of the thumbs will touch. That way your triceps will spin in. The sides of the thumbs will touch the wall. Yeah, palms, keep your hands apart, Debbie, in line with your shoulders. Yeah, some more. Yes. And lift the thumb side of your wrist up to straighten the elbows. Now, as you notice, the floating ribs, the lowest part of the rib cage in front, will be kind of jutting out a bit. Push your hands against the wall and bring the floating ribs in and take the navel in. Try to bring the back body, the low back, the lower part of the shoulder blades on the wall. The lower part of the shoulder blades will lift off the wall. Take your floating ribs in so much that the lower part of the shoulder blades kind of go into the wall. And what about the action in your legs? Recharge the action in your legs from the feet up. Now relax your hands in front, interlock your fingers in front. Relax your legs again. And with your elbows slightly bent, here you have the reference of the wall. Take the shoulders back, palms facing out. Debbie, in front. Interlock your fingers. Turn the palms out, yeah. Keep your elbows bent slightly. And push your shoulder blades back, shoulders back and shoulder blades into the wall. Now keep your shoulders there, straighten your hands, straighten your elbows. Interlock your fingers, keep your fingers interlocked. Yeah, and straighten the elbows, palms facing out, not towards you, palms facing the other side. I think, is it out for everyone? Okay. And now slowly take your hands above your head and try to bring your pinky fingers to the wall and lift the, no, let's see, not the pinky, yes, the pinky fingers to the wall and lift the lower index finger up. And once again, notice that the lower shoulder blades would have gone off the wall. Start from the floor up. Activate your feet into the floor. Activate your thighs, lift your kneecaps up. And now bring the floating ribs in, navel in. It's almost like you're trying to bring the back ribs, the lowest back ribs, to the wall. And this is actually really good for the low back, especially if you drop your tailbone and bring the back ribs back. It'll lengthen the lower part of the spine. And release, please. Release. Yeah. And come back to your mat. Where did you feel that, Karith? Oh, at the neck? Oh. Okay. The neck is not totally okay, huh? Not totally sorted out. Okay. Okay, we're going to do some standing postures. So if you using bricks, Debbie, please, do you have your bricks with you? Yeah, place your bricks one at the back. Place your bricks at the back edge of the mat. About no, Karith, could you turn and stand at the center of your mat, please? Face the camera, and then place the bricks at the back edge of the mat. We're going to do triangle. Okay, so Debbie, take your bricks apart. They should be at least 3 feet apart because they're for your hands, yeah? Okay. And going into triangle, of course, we haven't done any sun salutations or anything like that, so we haven't really warmed up too much. So when you go into triangle, you know, try not to force or try not to go too deep, yeah, because you're still not completely warmed up. Inhale and step or jump your legs apart, hands apart. Point the right foot out, point the right foot out. Extend with your right hand, relax the right hip back and go into triangle. Place your right hand on the brick and wrap your left arm behind you. Try to hold your right thigh or the right hip with your left hand. So wrap the arm behind you. Now bend the right knee slightly. Karith, don't look up yet, please. Just look here. Bend the right knee slightly and move the right knee out to the right slightly. Just the knee, not the foot. Right knee out to the right. Just the knee. So that creates an outer rotation in the right hip joint, in the right thigh bone. And use your left hand to help you with that outer rotation. As you take the right knee out slightly to the right, use your left hand to physically rotate the right thigh out. Yeah. Now keeping the femur bone as it is, use your left hand to push that right sit bone back and straighten your right leg, keeping the knee in the same position. Don't let the knee rotate in. Yes, take the right hip back. If you have to go higher to do this, go a little higher. You know, don't go so low. If you need to be a little higher, do that. Yeah. Okay, and then lift your sternum up, pressing down on the right hand. Lift the right sternum up and straighten the left leg. Activate the left thigh. Yeah, Debbie, straighten the right leg a little more. Yes, don't push it. Yeah, but straighten the right leg as much as you can, and then straighten the left leg. Lift your sternum, right sternum away from the right sit bone. The right sit bone moves back, as you just did. And against that, take the right sternum forward. Use your left hand to take the right sit bone back. Use your right hand, press down on the right hand and move the right sternum forward. Now take your left shoulder back and take your hand up. Karith, you may need to go a little higher. I think it's getting into your back from what I can see. Yeah, that's better. Yes. Yeah. So if the actions in the right leg are correct, then the weight will drop to the inner edge of the foot, which means there's an outer rotation of the right femur bone, and your hips will move slightly forward so the weight comes to the inner edge of the right foot and the outer edge of the left foot. Inhale, come up, please. Exhale, release your hands, change the direction of your feet. Okay. Take your hands in line with your shoulders. Actually, wrap your right arm behind you even before you go in. Wrap it behind and try to hold the left outer hip or the left outer leg. That's whatever's naturally available. Now reach with your left hand. As you extend towards the wall in front of your left hand, use your right hand to take that left hip back. Reach forward with your left hand, take the left hip back with your right hand. Release the left hand to wherever is comfortable for you. Stay a little higher than you usually do it. You want to open the legs first. Now bending the left knee slightly, very slightly. Take the left knee to the left slightly. As the left knee goes out, use your right hand to do an outer rotation of that left thigh bone and bring both your hips slightly forward as the left knee goes out. Yes. Now, straighten the left knee and take that left hip back. Your spine will begin to lean. As your pelvis leans, tilts, the spine will also tilt. And try to straighten the left leg first. Straighten it. And now, straighten the right leg. And the right thigh, work the right thigh and spin the inner groin back. Spin the inner groin back. So there's an inner rotation of the right leg. There's an outer rotation of the left leg. And now, using your right hand, take your right sit bone back. Using your left hand, lengthen the left sternum away from the left sit bone. Left sit bone back and left sternum forward. Then take your shoulder back and take your hand above your head. And finally, gaze. Hold from the back leg. Relax the front hamstring and suggest for it to relax. Inhale, come up, please. Exhale, bring your legs together. Release your hands, Samasthiti. Okay, let's try that again. Inhale, step your legs apart, hands apart. Exhale, point the right foot out. Now, last time you had your hands to help you with the action of the legs. This time, try to get that same action without actually using your hands. So inhale, extend with your right hand Extend with the right hand. The right hip moves back. And release your right hand down wherever it's comfortable. Now release your left hand to your hip, just there. You don't have to wrap it, just there. Now, as you take your head and chest back, do an outer rotation of the right thigh and bring both your hips forward towards the camera. Take the chest back, hips forward. Even if the left knee bends a little bit, it's okay. Bring the hips forward so the right sit bone is in line with the right heel. And you'll know if this action is correct if the weight drops to the inner edge of your left foot, inner heel as well as the big toe mount. Now straighten the back leg. Lift the right sternum up. And hold on. And take the left shoulder back. And you can take your left hand up. And inhale, come up, please. Karith, I think, I don't know if I'm the co-host, but I think I saw something about Laurie trying to come back in and that she needed to be admitted back in. But maybe just make me a co-host there, so if I see that, I can admit her.
I made you co-host at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
I
There
think
she
she's
is.
having
There
internet
she is.
issues. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
There she's back.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, guys. I just want to say I have a bad connection today. So if it's okay,
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah,
keep.
yeah, no problem. Just join whenever you can. Anyway, we're still doing triangle again. So.
Okay, I'm really sorry.
No worries. No problem. Okay. And then again, step your legs apart, hands apart. And when you go into the posture, first, when you create the posture, the first thing is make sure that your feet, even as you just step the legs apart, make sure that the feet are pointing straight forward, or at least straight forward, maybe even pigeon-toed in slightly, yeah? And then point the left foot out. And again, going in this side, we're not going to use the arms to help, but that outer rotation of the left femur bone, see if you can get it from the muscles of the leg itself. Inhale, extend with your left hand, relax the left hip back, and release the left hand to wherever's comfortable. Now, when you lift your chest and head back, do that outer rotation of the left thigh and bring both your hips forward slightly as your head and chest moves back. It's okay if the right knee bends a little bit for you to achieve that. So the left femur bone will rotate out to the left, as well as the thigh works to straighten the knee. So if you look at the knee, in fact, everyone look at your knee, please. Your knee should be pointing straight forward. Yeah, your toes should be pointing straight forward. Go into it and then do it from there. And your knee should be pointing straight forward. Not an inner rotation. The knee should not be pointing to the left. If it is, then you have to work your action to correct that. Take your chest back, take your head back. And then keep the left leg as it is. Activate the right thigh and spin the inner groin back, which means your right knee will be in line with your right toes. Your right toes are slightly pigeon-toed in, and the knee will be slightly to your left. Slightly, not too much. And take the right hip back, right shoulder back. Lengthen the sternum away from the hip. And inhale, come up, please. Exhale, bring your legs together, release your hands. Okay. Karith, is that okay on your back? It's okay, right? Okay. So you see, once again, when we create the posture, we're always working from the floor up, yeah? So that's why the action of the feet, even in mountain pose, when we went through it, we started with the action of the toes and the feet and going up. Now, if you're in headstand, you'd be doing the opposite with your arms. So always from the floor up, yeah? Inhale from the foundation. Once again, step your legs apart, hands apart. And first place the feet in the right position. Pigeon toe your feet in slightly. Yeah. And then keeping the left foot as it is, just point the right foot out. Now here again, the right foot should be pointing straight forward. So the toe should not be in. The toe should be straight forward, and the inner heel and the inner foot should be parallel to the left side of your mat. Inhale, extend with your left hand. Keep the leg straight. Keep the knee, with your right hand. With your right hand. Keep the leg straight as you go and relax your hips and go to wherever is comfortable for you. Yeah. Now on your own, try to create the posture from the floor. Relax your left hand to your left hip. So adjust your hips and legs in such a way that the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, and the center of your heel on your right leg is firmly grounded, as well as the left leg. The center of the heel, the big toe mound, and the little toe mound. So in the front leg, the tendency would be for the outer heel to be heavier. So you have to move your hips forward, chest back to bring the weight to the inner heel and inner foot. In the back leg, the weight will tend to be more on the inner foot. Lift your left big toe up and drop the pinky toe side of your foot down to ground the feet. And then from that action, straighten both legs. Outer rotation of, activate your thighs and lift both the kneecaps up. Outer rotation of the right thigh bone, femur bone, and activate the left thigh to take the left femur bone straight back. Left thigh bone straight back to open the left hip. Then from there, lengthen the right sternum away from the right hip to lengthen the spine, and then take the left shoulder back, and then take your left hand up. And then finally gaze at the left thumb. And hold the body with your actions. Inhale, come up please. Exhale, change the direction of your feet. So notice how we create the posture from the floor, always. Being really deliberate and conscious about that. Point the left foot out. Take your hands in line with your shoulders. With every posture, when you go in, relax when you go in. Keep the legs straight though, don't bend the knee. Relax the hips back, extend with your left hand, and release your hand to wherever it goes naturally without bending the knee. Don't bend the knee. Laurie, come back up, please. Don't bend the knee to go down. Keep the legs straight. Relax your hips and go down. Yes. Yeah. Now, again, build the posture from the floor. Do it on your own. Inner edge of the left foot, outer edge of the right foot. Outer rotation of the left femur bone, knee pointing straight forward. Activate the right thigh, taking the front of the thigh bone to the back of the thigh bone to open the hip. And now lengthen the spine by lengthening the left sternum away from the left sit bone, and then take the right shoulder back, rotate the spine. Then finally take the right hand up. Debbie, take the brick higher and straighten the left leg, please. Take the brick higher and straighten the left leg. Yes. And straighten the left elbow. Push, yes. Take the right shoulder back. Yes, inhale, come up please. Exhale. Bring your legs together. Release your hands. And of course, as you all know, and you're probably aware, is that it's all about creating a strong foundation, right, from which the rest of the posture can build upon, you know. That's why in the physical practice of yoga, once you get into it a little more deeper, you get kind of very specific about how to build from the floor up, okay? Because when something is created with more consciousness and more deliberate thought, then you're able to sustain it for longer, you know, and you're able to also to receive the right benefit from the posture. You're able to transform, you know, tightness and open it. If the foundation is strong, then you can do all of those things. If the foundation is strong, you can sustain it longer. If you can sustain longer, then you get more benefits and can transform from a more you know, from tightness to ease, things like that, to opening, basically. Okay. Okay, let's see. Turn to face the top of your mat, whichever direction that is. And if you have bricks, then have your bricks next to you on either side. We're going to use, if you need, you may need to use them. Okay. Yeah. So have your bricks so that, you know, they're in line with your feet. So Laurie, bring your bricks either, yeah, just to the side of your feet. And take your feet hip distance apart. And once again, the natural tendency is for most of us to have our heels inside, so in towards each other. Take the heels out slightly so the outer blade of your foot is parallel to the edges of the mat, okay? And that'll help to open the sacrum and the hip joint. And from here, apply the actions of mountain pose like you did in the beginning. And inhale, take your hands up. Lengthen the sides of your waist, lengthen the spine as you drop your heels. Exhale, relax your hips. Keep the legs straight, don't bend the knees, relax the hips, and just take your hands to wherever it reaches with the legs straight. Take your hands down. Take the hands down, fold, yeah. Wherever it goes naturally. You may need the bricks, you may not need the bricks, it's up to you, okay? Okay, now, in the half position, look at the wall in front, extend your spine, lengthen the spine, lift the sit bones up, and straighten the legs. Now, if your legs are not straightening, that means you have to go up higher. So you use your props and go a little higher so the legs straighten, yeah. Stay there. And try to balance the action between and the position between the left and right ankle, left and right action of the thighs, lifting the kneecaps up, left and right sit bones lifting up, pushing down on the wrists or your fingers, Aileen, straightening the elbows, shoulders, lengthening the spine. No, that's fist is fine, Aileen. Fist is fine. Yeah. So lengthen your spine and try to distribute the actions evenly between left and right. Stay there. Inhale, lengthen the sternum forward. Exhale, keep the legs as they are. Relax the elbows out to the side and relax your hips to bring the abdomen down. Don't release your head yet. You're bringing the torso towards the legs. Keep looking just slightly in front of your feet. Look slightly in front of the feet. Inhale. Once again, lengthen the sternum. Don't back off. Just there, wherever you are. Fold, please. Take the elbows out. Fold. Fold. Bring the torso closer. Yeah. Now, keep looking just in front of your toes. And lengthen your sternum only. Don't back off. Don't bring the torso up. Just lengthen the sternum. Inhale. Exhale. Relax the hips. Take your elbows out and take your abdomen closer to your thighs. Relax. It's an action of relaxation. Lengthen your sternum again. Look forward. Look slightly forward. Exhale. Relax your hips. Take your elbows out. Take your chest towards your legs more. This is not an action from the head. It's from the hips. Yeah, relax the hip joint. The head has really nothing much to do with it. In fact, it's better to look forward so the spine is lengthened. Now release your head. Release your head. Yeah, you don't need the bricks, Gareth. Inhale, come to the half position. Exhale, hands on your hips. Inhale, bend your knees slightly and come up. Exhale, release. Okay. Let's go into downward dog, and we're going to do it if you can. Yeah, everyone's got a wall, so you try to place your heels on the wall, the mounds of the toes on the floor. So do that variation with your heels on the wall. Go to downward dog. The big toe, the mounds of the toes on the floor. Yeah, so downward dog, Aileen. Yeah. Yes, like that. So again, this posture we're creating from the floor. So here the foundation, of course, is your palms as well as your feet contacting the wall and the floor. So starting with the palms, drop the inner edge of your palms on the floor. So there's an inner rotation of the lower arms. Drop the inner edge, the index finger, thumb side of your palms on the floor. Spread the skin, spread your fingers, and keeping the weight dropping into that side, push down into the floor, and do an outer rotation of your upper arms. It's a tricky action, but it's both of those. Inner rotation of the lower arms, upper rotation of the upper arms. Outer rotation. Outer rotation of the upper arms will widen the collarbones and move the shoulders away from the ears. And pushing into the floor, lift your sit bones up and take the back of your legs towards the wall from the action of your hands. Straighten, push down on the big toe mounds, activate your thighs, and spin the inner groins back like you did in mountain pose. And this will open the sacrum. Look slightly forward. Look forward between your hands to lengthen the sternum. Now keep the sternum lengthening and only release your head, but without the sternum dropping. Release the head, but the sternum needs to still stay long. So there's a concave back, and try and gaze at your navel from there without the chest caving in. And then try to balance between left and right wrist, left and right ankle position, elbows, the elbow that's the side of the elbow, the back of the elbow that's closer to your legs, they have to rotate in slightly towards each other without the index finger size of your thumbs lifting. The knees have to rotate in slightly. The sit bones lengthen up. Shoulders, upper arms rotate out slightly. And come down, please. Release. You can come back to your mat. Come back and come to a seated posture on your mat. Just sit in a comfortable seated posture. Karith, if you would like to share, this could be a good time.
Thanks, Amit, and thanks, everybody. So it's kind of an amazing moment in the Jewish calendar. The Torah portion for today is Bereshit, which is it's often usually translated as in the beginning. More appropriately would be in a beginning, which is, I think, a nice way for us to think about it. And of course, it is our creation story, the Jewish creation story, and there's a huge focus at the very beginning of our creation story on the power of words. As God speaks, the world comes into creation. And this has always struck me as a really wonderful model for us human beings as well. When we think about creation or manifestation and what we want to create, what we want to bring into the world, what we want to make true, what we want to make manifest. And what I'm going to do is invite all of us in the next week to engage in a practice of speaking aloud, not just thinking in your head, but speaking aloud, either speaking into a void, it doesn't have to be to someone, or saying aloud to another human being, something that you want to make manifest, something that you want to create, whether it's a concept, an idea, or an actual thing like making dinner. Could be as something as simple as that, or something as profound as creating a more just society for us to live in. And the reason that I'll invite us into that practice is that I think what our Torah portion, not that we are God, but I think our Torah portion really helps us understand the great power of words, and how our capacity to create and to make change can be solidified within ourselves before we just start to do. And the words help us to frame that. They almost create a container for making something happen. So rather than just engaging in an action, to say what an intention is and then to work toward fulfilling that intention. And it reflects very, very, in a way like a mirror, reflects also our blessing practice as Jewish people. Whenever we are about to engage in an action, we start by saying a blessing for that action first, and then engage in the action so that that action is filled with intention. So I hope that in the coming week that all of our actions can be purposeful, can be filled with intent, and that intent can be an intent of making manifest wholesome creation in our world. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shalom. Thank you, Garrett. Thanks for that sharing. And when Garrett was sharing that, what came to mind to me was that having a vision, right, for yourself, even in the yoga practice, if you connected with yoga, is what vision do you have for yourself, which includes all the different layers of your being: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And that vision, hopefully, is a positive, good vision. That the vision then directs the intention. So the intention is actually driving that vision. So it's coming from a place of the heart, wanting better, wanting more positive, wanting better states of being, So the intention is very important in the practice. What is your intention in the yoga practice? What is do you have some clarity on that? How? Yeah, and then the intention is what drives, the actions, right? The intention drives the actions, and finally, from that, you get a result that is congruent with your vision that you had. So all of that has to work together when in this process of creation. And even for me as a teacher, when I teach you, right, it's my intention is in the physical practice of yoga is to help you gain more opening and more positive states in your body, mind, and emotional being. And from that intention, I try to align my words with that vision and that intention. And from my words, you're applying action, from that, listening to that in your own way, right? And then hopefully you are gaining a benefit that is congruent to my intention of, having more positive states in your being. That's the process for me as a teacher. But if you look at it as you being the teacher yourself, it's the same process. Maybe you may not talk to yourself, but the thought is still there, right? The vision is there, the intention is there, the thought is there, the actions are there, and you get the benefit of the result of that process of creation. So it's important to understand the process clearly, when you're practicing, and kind of align with the process. You hear a lot about alignment in yoga, right? It's not just physical alignment. Your intention has to align, your actions have to align with the intention. Everything has to align with each other, and that really is what alignment really is. Not just put your foot in this place and do that, and but basically everything has to align with spirit from the outer body, has to align with the deeper aspect of yourself. Okay. Okay. So let's continue with that in mind. Okay. Okay. So you can sit down in dandasana with your legs straight forward. And if your hamstrings are tight or your hips are tight, sit on some elevation. That'll help to release the low back. And with your legs straight forward, so here in this posture, what we're trying to create here is more opening in the back of the legs and more opening in the spine and the hip joint. Yeah. So with that in mind, place your hands next to your hips on the floor. Join the inner necks of your big toes. Heels can be slightly apart, like in mountain pose. And pushing down on your wrists, lift your sternum up. Lengthen the spine. Look at your big toes, chin slightly down. And now flex your feet, toes towards you, and push out from the big toe mounds. Drag your heels away from your calf muscles. Lengthen the inner heels away. Activate your thighs. Now you can see your knees. So look at your knees. They need to be pointing either straight up or slight internal rotation towards each other. Yeah, and keep the sternum lifting. Take your shoulders back. The lift has to come from the sternum, not from the shoulders. The shoulders have to move back and down. Yes, and look at your big toes, and then lengthen the lowest back rib in the back body. Drop your sit bones, lengthen the lowest back rib. So with this, you're lengthening the spine, you're lengthening the back of your legs. And just hold your body there with your actions. And now try to balance between left and right ankle, left and right knee, actions around it, as well as the position. Left and right sit bone into the floor, left and right shoulder, moving back and down, position of the left and right elbow, left and right wrist. And try to notice that there will always be some difference between the two sides. And try to balance that out to bring more evenness in the body. Now interlock your fingers in front. Keep your elbows slightly bent. Palms facing out, please. And take your shoulders back and drop your shoulder blades down your back. And then straighten your hands. Take your hands above your head. Lift up like you did in mountain pose. So of course, as you lift up, your sternum will lift up naturally. And let it go up. Let the sternum go up. Take your shoulders back. Your elbows back behind your ears. Straighten the arms. Lift the lower index finger up. And once again, flex your feet. Activate your thighs. Now just try to make sure that you're not leaning back. So lift the sternum up. Yes. Look at your big toes. Palms facing up. Okay. And spin the triceps in so the collarbones widen. Stay there, please. And can you balance between left and right actions? And release, release. Let it go. Okay, we're going to go into Virasana or Vajrasana. So bending your knees, you can either sit on your heels with your knees together and sit on your heels if that's what is possible. Otherwise, Virasana, knees together, feet as wide as the mat, and bring your hips down in between. You can sit either on your brick or the floor if that's available for you, depending on how open you are. So try to do Virasana if that's available. Knees together, feet out, and sit down in this space in between. If it's too much, sit down on a brick, yeah? Okay. Now, wherever you are, first place your hands on your, yeah, is everyone doing Virasana? I can't see Laurie. Are you doing Virasana? Okay, that's fine. Just do this or not. Yeah. Just, okay. Okay. Make sure that your toes are pointing back, straight back, and the pinky toes should be on the floor. So adjust your feet so the pinky toes are on the floor, and there needs to be a gap between the inner heels and the outer hips. There needs to be a gap. So you should be able to take your hands straight down. Yeah. Okay. Now use your hands and pull the buttock flesh back so the sit bones lengthen back. It's a little bit of a difficult action to do, but do it so the hamstrings lengthen. And then use your right hand at the left inner knee, and just lift the knee up and drop it down. Lift it up, yeah, and drop it down. Yes, and drop it down. Do it to the other side. Left hand at the right, drop it down. Bring your knees together and place your hands on your heels, thumbs on your heels, fingers on the outer edge of your feet. Now push down with your thumbs to ground the top of the ankles into the floor and drop the pinky toes down. And then pushing down, lift your sternum up, take your shoulders back. Lift the sternum up more for the low back to open. Lift it up. Chin slightly down, look down slightly. So as you lift the sternum up, it brings the arch into the low back, the lumbar region of your spine. So get that first. Yeah. Keep the sternum lifted, then drop the sit bones and lift the lowest back rib up to lengthen the back of the lumbar region. Take the navel in slightly. Shoulders back and down. Good. Keep everything as it is. Interlock your fingers in front. Keep the elbows bent, palms facing out, please. Take your shoulders back, drop them down, straighten your arms, and take your hands above your head. And lift up. As you lift the hands up and back, the sternum will lift again and open the armpit chest area. Drop the sit bones, take the navel into the spine. And now can you try to find more balance between left and right? Left and right ankle, position and actions around the ankles, left and right knee, left and right sit bones on the floor, left and right shoulders, elbows and wrists. And like I said, most of the time there will be a difference between the two. So try to come to a little more balance between the two. Exhale and release. Lift your hips up, release your hands in front. Yeah, bring your hands in front on the floor. Yeah, on the floor. Straighten one leg behind you. Yeah, and just rock your body back and forth to open the back of that knee. And then do it to the other leg. Okay, and then sit down in dandasana again with your legs straight forward. Have a belt next to you if you need for forward bends. And once again, if your hamstrings are tight, then please sit on some elevation. Okay, and come into dandasana with your legs straight forward. We just did this posture, so to apply the actions there. Debbie, I don't think your hamstrings are so tight that you need to sit on that. Yeah, your hamstrings are pretty open. Maybe a blanket if you have it, but no, it's fine. Okay. Now bend your right knee and take the right knee to the floor on the right foot against the inner left thigh. Try to take the heel up to the perineum and place the foot against the inner left thigh. Place your hands on either side of the extended of the left leg. So yeah, of the left leg, yes. Hands on either side, yes, like that. Now looking at your left leg, you can see it. Flex the left foot. Bring the left calf muscle on the floor and drop the inner calf muscle, the inner knee towards the floor. So there's a slight internal rotation of that leg. Press the outer heel, the edge of the right heel, the outer heel, into your left thigh like you would in tree pose, and drop the right knee down. Drop the right sit bone down. So try to bring both the sit bones evenly on the floor. Now, staying on your fingertips, yeah, lift your sternum up, lengthen the spine, lift the sternum, take the navel to the left, navel to your left. Look at your left big toe, please. Don't turn your head, just turn the navel and the chest to the left. Yeah, keep everything as it is. If you're using your belt, then hold the belt. Otherwise, clasp the right wrist with your left hand. Straighten your arms and take your hands above your head. Yeah, like that. Straighten your arms. You can use the belt if you need, Laurie. Yeah, straighten your arms with the belt and then take your hands above your head. Turn the navel to your left again. Keep the left leg straight. Pull the left wrist up if you're not using the belt. Keep your hands in line with your head. Inhale there, look up. Exhale, relax the hips and bring the torso down as much as is naturally available. And then release your hands to wherever is comfortable for you to reach. Release your hands. Yeah. Now holding firmly the foot or the belt, first flex the left foot. Again, press the outer right heel and drop the right knee down. Drop both sit bones down. Now lift the sternum up, lengthen the spine and lift the sternum up. Now without releasing your hands, firm grip with the hands, it's like you're almost taking the torso back away from the leg. We usually think about going forward in the forward bends, but as a prep, I want you to lengthen the sternum and take the torso back, pulling the chest away from your leg without releasing the leg. Take the chest, torso back, Laurie. Take it back. Yes, without releasing the belt. Without firm grip with the belt, and take the chest up and take your torso back. Yeah, so it's like you're pulling away from the floor. Lengthen the left side of the sternum a little bit more. Drop the right sit bone a little bit more. Drop the right knee a little bit more. Lengthen the left sternum. Don't do it from the neck, do it from the sternum. Look at your big toe. And release, please. Make your way to the other side. Place your feet in position. And then hands on either side of the extended leg, the right leg. Fingertips on the floor. And looking at your right leg, flex the right foot. Drag the inner heel away. Inner calf muscle on the floor. Activate your thigh and drop the inner edge of your leg towards the floor. So there's an internal rotation of the entire leg. pushing down, pushing your right inner thigh with the left outer heel. Drop the left knee down a little more towards the floor. As the left knee drops, drop the sit bone down. Keep those actions in the lower body. With your fingertips on the floor, lift your sternum up and look at your big toe, please. Yeah, so you have to isolate the action between lifting the sternum and lifting the head. Yeah, those are two different actions. But lift the sternum up while still looking at the big toe. And then turn the navel to the right. And either holding your belt or clasping your left wrist with the right hand, straighten your arms in front and take your hands above your head. Now, just like you did in dandasana, when you take your hands above your head, your legs have to work a little bit more. Work the right leg a little bit more. Look at your big toe and turn the navel to your right. Now look up and pull the left wrist to lengthen the spine. Relax the hip joint, don't bend the right knee, and just relax, go wherever is naturally available on the exhalation. Go down. And then from there, hold wherever is naturally available for you. And now work the right leg again, flex it, flex the foot, activate the right thigh. You can see the knee. The knee should be pointing straight up or slightly to your left. And pull, firm grip with your hands, and pull your hands, lift the sternum up to lengthen the front body, the front of the torso, and then try to pull the chest away from the leg. Lengthen the spine and pull the chest away from the leg. You should feel like you're really working there. If you're doing this correctly, it's not a relaxed action. If you're doing it correctly, it'll feel like you're working quite a bit there. Especially lift the right side of the sternum up. And release, please. Okay. Go into Baddha Konasana, join the soles of your feet. If your hips are tight, please sit on a prop. If your knees are, when you do that, if your knees are way higher than your hips, then you need to sit on a prop. Debbie, sit on your bolster, please, for this one. Okay, and using your hands, bring your heels towards the perineum. Pull it in, pull your feet in. And using your hands on the floor next to your hips, put your hands on the floor. Pushing down on your hands, lift your hips slightly and move your hips forward towards your heels. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, just flap the knees up and down. Do that a few times. Do it quickly, up and down. Flap the knees up and down to relax the groins. Be careful, don't do it too fast, you may levitate. Okay. Okay, now relax. Put either your palms, if your forearms reach your thighs, then put your forearms on your thighs or your hands. Push down, Alien, yeah, that was correct where you had it. Push down with your arms and push up with your legs. So resisting opposing actions. Push your legs down and pull up with your knees. Yeah. Pull the knees up, push the knees down, the legs down. Again, if you're doing that correctly, it's a pretty strong action, yeah? And release once again, flap the wings of the butterfly. Okay, and place your hands next to your hips on the floor or your props. Wrists on the floor, fingers pointed forward, or wrists on whatever's available. Now, if your wrists don't reach the floor, then put your bricks there. So the wrists need to be on something, yeah? And pay attention to the contact of the center of the heels against each other, okay? The action of the feet in Baddha Konasana, as you may already know, the center of the heels push against each other. The big toes and the big toe mounds move away from each other. The outer edges of the feet, including the pinky toe and the outer blade of the feet, stay in contact. That's the action of the feet to open the grinds here. Now, to bring it all together, push your wrists on the floor, fingers pointed forward. Inhale, lift your sternum up to open the hip joint. Exhale, press the heels and take the knees closer down to the floor. Do that for 5 breaths. Inhale, push down on your wrist, lift your sternum up. Exhale, don't release the sternum. Exhale, press the heels, move the big toes away and bring your knees closer to the floor. And don't release, keep going deeper like that. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, knees closer. Do that 2 more times. Finally, the knees will touch the floor, finally. I mean, may not be today, but eventually. And keep lengthening the spine. Don't let the sternum drop so that the low back keeps lengthening as well. And stay there, holding the body with your actions. And again, try to balance between left and right ankle, left and right knee. Usually one groin will be tighter. For me, it's the left groin is a little tighter. So you have to press a little bit more on that heel to open that groin as much as the right, or whichever side for you. And one sit bone will be lighter. So press a little more on the opposite wrist and lift that sternum up a little bit more, the sit bone that's lighter. Try to keep the mind in the practice. And then release, please. Release. And go to child's pose. In child's pose, have your hands in front. We're going to do a little more active version of child's pose. So hands in front. Take your hands forward as much as you can without your hips lifting off your heels. Palms on the floor. Put your hands in downward dog arms. So same actions like downward dog. Take the hips to the heels, how much ever is possible. And here, again, internal rotation of the lower arms, ground the inner edge of your palms, and keeping that grounded, do an external rotation of the upper arms, spin the triceps in, widen the collarbones, and move the shoulders away, the edges of the shoulders away from the ears. Forehead on the floor, and then let there be some energy in your hands. So pushing into the floor, take the hips towards your heels so it's more active. And then bring the forehead skin towards your eyes to relax the mind. And inhale, come up please. Exhale, release your legs in front. Come to dandasana again with your legs straight forward. And once again, if your hamstrings are tight or if you're having low back issues, then please sit on some elevation. And apply the actions of dandasana like you did earlier. Flex your feet, pushing down on your wrists, lift your chest up. Use your arms to help you lengthen the spine. Drop your sit bones. Interlock your fingers in front. Palms facing out. And take your shoulders, before you straighten the hands, take the shoulders back and drop them down, and then straighten your hands, like we did in mountain pose. And take your hands above your head. And lengthen up. Lengthen the arms, straighten them, take the elbows behind the head to open the armpit chest area. Lengthen the front of the torso. And then look up. Keep your hands where they are. Exhale, relax the hips to bring your torso closer to your legs. And then release your hands to wherever it reaches comfortably. Okay, hold. Have a firm grip wherever you're holding. And like we did in Janu Sirsasana with the knee bent, lengthen your sternum first. Lengthen it to lengthen the front of the torso, the abdomen and the chest. Continue to hold. And then while holding firmly, try to take the chest back away from your legs. So lengthen the spine and then take the chest back. Flex your feet. Stay there. Now, to fold forward, inhale, lengthen the spine. Don't release your head. Keep looking at the big toe. Exhale, elbows go out to the side. Relax the hip joint and fold. Inhale, lengthen the sternum forward. Look at your big toes. The spine has to go forward. Exhale and fold from the hip joint. Don't release the head. Keep looking forward. So you have to isolate. When you release the head, it's just an illusion that you're folding. You're not folding. It's not happening. Isolate. Inhale, look, lengthen the sternum forward. Exhale, awareness to the hip joint. Bend the elbows out. Relax the hips and bring the abdomen closer to the thighs. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen the sternum forward. Don't back off, please. Just do it there. Exhale and relax the hips. So the spine has to lengthen forward. On the exhale, relax the hips to bring the abdomen towards the thigh. And stay there, please. If your abdomen is not on your thigh and chest is not on your knee, it means that you have to still work in the half position in the earlier stages of this posture. The legs and hips are not open yet. So you have to work like we did just now. Yeah. It may take some time for it to open. Okay, and come up, please. Interlock your fingers and hands above your head. Lengthen your arms. Straighten your spine to release the spine. Look at your big toes. And release. Release, please. Turn to face the camera. We're going to go into a twist. Okay. With your legs straight, have your legs straight, please, in front of you. Now, again, if you have a bolster, please sit on a bolster or some elevation with the bolster vertical, not horizontal. So Debbie, turn it so it's straight behind you. Yes, and sit on a bolster, please. Okay. Now, if you're sitting on elevation, please lift your hips and move them to your right slightly. Sit slightly to your right. So the left buttock is on the bolster. Right hip is not completely down, but yeah, just slightly off the bolster. Okay. Now bend both your knees slightly. Place your feet on the floor and take your left heel and place it outside the right hip on the floor. No, from under the right knee, Debbie, from under the right knee. Yes, and place the outer heel outside the right hip. Yes, like that. Laurie, it's better you Keep the right leg as it is. It's a different posture, Debbie. Don't get into that. Yeah. Now, hold your right foot with your right hand. Lean to your left hand on the floor. Hold the ankle. Now you're going to place the top of the right foot on the arch of your left foot. So bend the right knee back. The top of the right foot, the top of the ankle, not the alien, not like that. Let's see, Debbie's doing it correct, but we can't see her. The top, this part has to go on, yes, like that. Like the top of the foot, yes, like that. Carrot, that's right. The knees will be together, Aileen. Foot will be back. Yes, like that. Correct. Yeah. So Debbie, look, the top of the foot has to be on the arch, not the sole. The top. Look, Aileen is doing it here. One sec, let me spotlight it. See, like that. Okay. Now both knees on the floor. So push on your left hand, bring the right hip down, and bring the right knee down. Push on the left hand, move the torso to the right. Torso to the right. Yeah. Both knees to the floor. Not like that, Aileen. Yeah, like from there. Yeah, it's just not available right now. It's fine. It's just the hips are tight. Let's see, is everyone doing it correctly? Yeah, put your left hand on the floor and push down on your left fingertips and try to bring the right sit bone down in line with the left sit bone. And you'll feel the low back, the left side of the low back, lengthening there as you do that. Okay, release and go to the other side, please. Both knees together, straight in front. Yeah. Debbie, sit at the edge of the bolster, not so back. Right at the edge. No, come front. Come front, Debbie. Yes, there. Yeah. Correct. Right fingertips on the floor, left hand at the root of the left thigh. Push down on the right fingertips. Bring your torso to your left and drop the left sit bone and feel the right side of the low back lengthening there. Look straight forward. And try to bring that left sit bone down. Okay, and release, please. And lie down on your back, please, and with your feet together, knees apart, in Supta Baddha Konasana. And try to bring your heels closer to the perineum. And relax the groins, release your knees towards the floor. And Karith, if you can make your way out slowly. Rest of you stay there for a little longer. Then bring your knees together. Lengthen your lower back along the floor and straighten your legs. Lie down in Shavasana, please. Palms facing up, relax there.
The candle that we use for Havdalah, you might be able to see this time. There are actually 3 different flames here. It's a braided candle. And I think it's really nice for us just as a reminder to recognize the interconnectedness of our world, and especially in our practice together, even though we are not in the same space together, that we are still very much connected to one another. most of those blessings, we thank God for being a creator. And we can remember that we indeed are creators too, part of the unfolding process of creation. המבדיל בין קודש לחול, חטאותינו ימחול, זרענו וכספנו ירבה כחול, והכל חייבים בלילה. שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע beautiful week, everybody, and we're back on for the next 2 weeks in a row, but I believe both of them are at 11 o'clock.
Beautiful. This was beautiful. Thank you both. Thank everybody.
Thank you. Thanks,
nice.
everyone.
Very
11
nice.
o'clock then, right? Okay.
I think
Perfect.
that's right. I mean, I'll double check and send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Good to see you.
Good to see everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
See you tomorrow or
Bye.
Monday. We'll see.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. And I got